Hey friends, Mr. Ben here, and today for Science Explorers, we're going to be talking about investigating clouds. So before we investigate those clouds, we need to understand, what are they? Well, clouds are a collection of water droplets suspended in air. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Mr. Ben, what do you mean? Like, water is really heavy. I don't know if you ever lifted up a bucket, but it's really, really heavy. How does it get all the way up into the air? Well, that has to do with its ability, and all matter's ability, to change its state of matter. So we're probably all familiar with very cold water. We call it ice. It's frozen solid, and that is the solid form of water. Now when it warms up, and for the most part where we experience water, is in the liquid form, and that's what we call water. But if you add more energy to it, if you heat it up enough, it actually can turn into a gas, and that's how the clouds are formed. You see, first it goes through a process called evaporation. So evaporation is where the sun's energy gets into the water, and it raises it up, and as it gets up into the atmosphere, it cools down and it starts to turn back into water, from a gas into a liquid. But it's all kind of spread out in the air, and it can stay up there. Those little water droplets by themselves are not heavy, but if they come together more and more, they start to get heavier and heavier. And so we have evaporation that brings it up, condensation that turns it into the clouds, and then eventually when they get too heavy, it falls down as precipitation. We usually call it rain. In the cold weather months it's snow, sleet, or hail, but once that water goes up, eventually it's going to come back down to earth. Now it might fall in a mountain and then flow into a stream, or it might fall into a lake, or maybe into the ocean, but eventually it's going to try and make its way down, unless of course it gets evaporated. Now we can make a cloud right here using a very simple soda bottle, and these are actually meant to try and keep soda from going flat. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to take a look. There's a temperature gauge on here, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but right now it says 22 degrees. Okay? So what we're going to try and do is we're going to increase the pressure inside of here with a liquid, and that will raise the temperature and will give us the ability to make a cloud. Okay? So what we have for our liquid today is we have alcohol. Just because it evaporates better and it's going to make a cloud, it's similar to how water will work, but this is just going to work out way better. So we're going to put a little bit of alcohol in here. Okay? And you definitely want to get some help if you want to try this at home. So we're going to close this up, make sure it's secure, and now we're going to start pressing, 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 pressing. So again, I don't know if you can see this, but right now the temperature gauge is going from 22 to 24 as I increase the pressure, and that's because I'm making those molecules, those water droplets, the alcohol droplets, squeeze together more and more. There's less room for them to bounce around, and that increases the temperature because it gives them more energy. Right? So now we're at 24 and we're moving to 26, so we can definitely see, or at least I can see if you can't, that we are increasing the temperature. Now what's going to happen is when we release this, all right, it's going to release all that pressure, and it's going to cool that vapor down, and that means that it's going to be able to form a cloud. Are you ready? So here we go. And so you can see that my bottle went kind of cloudy real quick, and that is the cloud that we formed in here. And I have a special laser that we can put through, and now you can see all that vapor. Okay? Because if I remove it, I'm still holding on, I still have this turned on, but you can't see it. But if once I put this in the way, all those water droplets are reflecting that light back to your eye. So this is a really fun experiment that you can do. You just need to get a few things at home. You can even get a temperature gauge. You can get them for like reptiles, you know, pets that need to make sure, you need to make sure the temperature is good. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you learned a little bit, and maybe that you'll have a chance to do this experiment on your own. We'd like to thank National Grid for sponsoring this program, and you can join us every Tuesday and Thursday, at least for now, for Science Explorers and Story Time. So we hope to see you there. Until next time, friends.